Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Oh man, I just started. Hope you're all doing well and healthy, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And today we are jumping on GLORB. Now I've heard this and that with GLORB. My son actually first put me on to GLORB, said make sure you check out his stuff. He does sort of like a parody drill rap with SpongeBob stuff, as you can see right here. We've got his YouTube channel up, GLORB, Mr. Swags, Dankton, Sponge Off. Never heard of this fella. There are speculations that it is YNG Marta. As you may have seen last week, I did react to YNG Marta and thought he had bars of steel. Well, I think I am. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in on this. My son said, go to the bottom. One of the first songs of a 3-song release maybe, or something like that. Brought out over 2 years ago with 10 million views, so it must be pretty good. Hope everyone's doing well and healthy. That's fire. No, Mr. Krabs.
All this money that we made, I'm smoking kelp to the face. I skip the fence like I'm next, as long as a clarinet, so these hoes wanna play. Deep wells and pills by the thousand, lean, sip and squeal up on Jolly Rage Mail to the real bitch slam of the critic.
Look, this is something that I am definitely not going to listen to every single day. You have my word on that, but let's not take away the fact of the beat is banging. I do know that. And if you guys want to hear SpongeBob rap, or Plankton rap, or Squidward, or Mr. Krabs, or Patrick, or Sandy, then I guess GLORB is your man. But for me, it's not my style. But I'm still gonna say there's a lot of art put into this. There's a lot of effort put into this. I do know that for a fact, as my 13-year-old son can do something exactly like this. I'm sorry to say, even better. And he's only 13.
SpongeBob Joe pass ending this new jazz trend like I'ma be heading that fish with a bowl. Me eat this island I dim in town when chicken came out he brain in addition and chilling for rap hippie tweaking Patrick got stick in the dust carabin like Jay Evan I chasing up I'm every pet in the block but squid in his glide
Crusty crap pull up my go down that way guess who it is it's that boy Shaq makes the bag I love to the bake but so much green I'm needing her point in my Glock pattern is raw it's enough all locked in I'm locked you're here to say what you say I'm here to diss and make me some bass great.
So imagine what my son's going to produce when he's GLORB's age, whether he's YNG Marta or it's someone else in the industry. Either way, I think it is straight fire. 10 out of 10 for effort. Whoever has put this animation together will have a look at the end of this clip. I do think it's pretty well put together. All in all, if this is what you like to listen to, then, you know, each to their own. And yeah, I still think that it's fire, but just something that I'm not going to blaze every day straight away. That is just how I feel. It's just not for me. I think this is more for like, I'm not going to say it's not more for kids because the lyrics are, you know, they're like adult lyrics, so let's just keep that in mind right now. But yet we're using a child's cartoon, so it's a bit weird if you ask me, but at the same time it is what it is. It's sort of like putting SpongeBob SquarePants, like the whole characters of the cartoon, into an adult type of, you know, scenario. So with that being said, it's a bit bizarre to me, but each to their own, like I said. Anyway, let's keep going. Pretty dope. Yeah, it's catchy. Yeah, it's pretty great. It's tight, it's catchy. They call it crab pie. That was dope. See, man, that was messed up. Oh, that was stomping Plankton. Look. Very catchy. Just See, man, it's a bit. Look, when you're putting this with a kid's cartoon, I just don't know. It's not my style, man. It's just a bit fucked up, if you ask me. I just feel like, look, it's a good way to sort of like, for GLORB, I guess, to be covered up, and so you don't know who's rapping, because you've got like vocoders or AI voices with Eugene Krabs, SpongeBob, etc. So look, it's a bit bizarre, but at the same time funny. You know, it's a parody. You can't forget that this man does this for a living, but it's just like a little side hustle, I guess, on the side, because I think GLORB is an industry producer. I do not know that for a fact, obviously, because he's covered up. Not many people know about him and his identity and, you know, this and that. They just know that he's an industry player. So a lot of, like I said, a lot of people speculate that it's YNG Marta, who was an Australian MC as well, and only a young cat in his 20s, I think. So with that being said, look, not my style. I can appreciate the lyrics have been, whether they're AI lyrics, I don't know. In this day and age, who fucking knows, right? Whether it's been written by AI, whether you've asked AI to just go, hey, write us this and this and this, and you've got some bars, because you can do that nowadays. People don't even have to sit there with a pen and pad like the old days, which makes me kind of sick, you know what I mean? Like, that's not where hip-hop started from, and man, this is what we've gotten off hip-hop, if that makes sense. This is where all these new genres have come to this day. And this, you know, like, look, man, I've got kids, and like, even if my kid's listening to this, I'm gonna be like, hell motherfucking no, you know what I mean? And like, the funniest thing is that my kid did something like this without the vulgar, explicit lyrics, if that makes sense, and did something even funnier than this, I thought, man, that had better bars and actually made it not so much wholesome, but, you know, a 13-year-old is a 13-year-old, but, and seems to know more than what we used to as a 13-year-old back in the day. And without rambling on too much, guys, I just feel like, you know, he sort of did it way more wholesome without being so explicitly vulgar, if that's the way I should put it, especially with the film clip, and everything matched in well. So I'm not going to take away that the film clip was fire, that the lyrics are fire, that the production of the beat is fire. And while we're on it, we'll quickly jump on, shout out to Mr. Swags, Squidwalk, and SpongeBob. Like, it's creative, don't get me wrong, man, but this is a kid's cartoon. The Krusty Cypher would have been better with something like Family Guy, and I think I've seen he has done like Family Guy stuff, but then again, you know, whatever, man, each their own. Video by Sirenique. So look, shout outs to that dude for the animation and putting this clip together. Beat by Bowler Man. Shout outs to Bowler Man for the beat. What a banging beat. So obviously GLORB didn't produce this, or maybe he had some part in it. Obviously he's written the lyrics, hopefully. And like I said, they're not like an AI sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, AI is fire, man. Much respect to AI and anyone that uses it, and I hope they give respect to AI for using them, if that makes sense. I've rambled on way too much. Let's play at the end. All in all, it's been alright, man, but just not my style.
Take your hair first, like it's really nice, homie. They call it crab pie, cause he came at the bottom with a stick, it went deep.
Look, it's alright when it's coming from Mr. Krabs, you know what I mean? But when you hear SpongeBob on a rap, you're like, man, he just reminded that I know he's in his 30s or whatever nowadays, right? Or is he still a kid? See, that's what sort of trips me out when you've got this. Plankton's a grown man, Karen's grown, but like, you got Sponge and Patrick, like Squidward's grown as well. You know what I mean? We know they're all adults, but it is a kid's cartoon. So anyway, with that being said, look, I hope you enjoyed my reaction and my thoughts as well. Sorry I sort of rambled on a bit, but I felt like I needed to justify what I'm looking at, what I'm reacting to, and what I did here. Shout outs to GLORB. Please head over, subscribe to GLORB, like his stuff, make sure you comment on his stuff if it is the style of music that you want to listen to. Look, I'm gonna say the man is very, very talented. This has 10 million views, but I don't know if kids are looking at this, and like, I can't really sort of condone that, man. That's a bit messed up. But still, big shout outs to GLORB for putting it together, man, just for the creativity of the lyrics, if he wrote them. And shout outs to the producer and the animator too. And shout outs to my son too, for giving me this request. With that being said, I have rambled on enough. I am out. Hope you enjoy your day. Sorry I didn't post yesterday. I probably will come back maybe at the end of the year and react to GLORB. We'll see how we go. I know I've got plenty more other wicked requests and reactions to do. So with that, I'm out. See you all tomorrow. Much love. Peace, everybody.